All right, this is page 15. We've been looking at graphs all week, and today we're actually going to do some math with some numbers. So we're going to talk about function notation. It's the method of writing variables as functions. So I could just have a mathematical equation that says y equals 4x plus 2. It would be exactly the same if I wrote the function of x equals 4x plus 2. Or I could use another letter and it still tells me that the function of x is going to be 4x plus 2. So don't freak out if you see a G or an F. It means the same thing. Put numbers in parentheses when you replace them for x. So this question says, evaluate the function of 5 given the f of x equals 9x plus 42. All this means is that this 5 right here is my input. So I'm going to write my problem. 9x plus 42. Okay? But it says the input is 5. So I'm going to erase that x. And in parentheses, I'm going to put a 5. Type that in your calculator. When the input is a 5, so the function of 5, I get the answer 87. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 42 is 87. All right, evaluate for the function of when the function is 0. So 0 will be our input. So my math problem is 1/2 x plus 9. I'm going to erase that x. And I'm going to put my input in, put in my 0 in parentheses, 1/2 times 0 plus 9. So the function when I input 0 is going to be 9. Alright, this is when it's super duper important to use parentheses. So the input here is a -2. So I'm going to write my problem, negative 14x minus 8. I just wrote that. So when I make my input a -2 in parentheses and type that in my calculator, the function with my input -2 is 20. Okay, so we're just plugging in these numbers. Remember, when I say stuff over and over again, it usually means it's important. Put parentheses when you replace 4 and x. So, this says the rule for this problem is y equals 5 plus x. And it tells me my inputs are going to be -1, 0, and 2. So 5 plus x, 5 plus x, and 5 plus x. This means I've got to do this problem 3 times. The first time I'm going to erase my x, and I'm going to put in this -1. 5 plus -1 is 4. Second time, I'm going to erase that x, and I'm going to plug in a 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. And the last time, I'm going to erase that x. I'm going to plug in this 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, we're going to do this one again. This time, my rule is the function of x is 9x plus 1. And I'm going to input the same numbers. So I'm going to say 9x plus 1. I'm going to have to do it for each one of these. I'm going to erase the x in the first one. And I'm going to plug in this -1 in parentheses. 9 times -1 plus 1. Type that in your calculator, gives you a -8. I'm going to erase my x in the second one, and I'm going to plug in that 0. 9 times 0 plus 1 gives me a 1. One more time. I'm going to erase the x, and I'm going to plug in a 2. If my pen would write. 9 times 2 plus 1 is 19. Remember, put numbers in parentheses when you replace them for the x. That is so important. All right, flip over to page 16. So on this page, you're going to do just what we were doing. This is my rule. So 2x, I'm just going to write it over and over again. The first time, I'm going to erase my x and replace it with a parenthesis, -2, and I get -4. The second time I'm going to erase, and I'm going to replace it with a -1. When I do that, I get a -2. Okay, you'll do that 3 more times, and then you'll go over here and graph it. So -2, 4. So -2 down 4 gets me to this point right here. Okay, so this one, you're lucky it's already graphed it for you. So for 2 and 3, you're going to have to do the input and then graph it. I'll go ahead and tell you that number 3, your graph is going to look like a U. So if you have sound on, you'll know that and you won't freak out when you get a crazy looking graph. Now flip over to 17. All right, this is page 17. You're going to do this whole page, and instead of having to do the same rule over and over, you're just going to do it once for each problem. So I'm going to do number 6 as an example. So I'm going to write the problem, which is right here. T squared divided by 2 plus t. It's got 2 t's in it. That's okay. My input is a -4. So I'm going to take out that t and in parentheses put the -4. The squared stays on the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to erase, no, I'm not going to erase that 2. It's a number. I'm going to erase this t and I'm going to put in my -4. And then you straight up type that in your calculator. And you should get a 4 as your answer. Okay? So do the rest of these on this page. When you're done, flip over one more page. All right, I'm going to use this as a quiz grade. Answer questions 1 through 8. It's everything we've done already. Thank you.